What's up, guys? It's Corey Kingston here with
Phil.
funky, filthy, fantastic Phil Pardell.
Dang.
Co-host extraordinaire.
Dang.
Yeah, bro. Drunk Brigade.
Drunk Brigade?
Drum Brigade. Drum Brigade. The Drum Brigade show. Man, Drum Brigade show.
It's here.
It's here and it's now.
It's happening.
We're doing this.
It's happening.
What's this thing
Episode
called?
1.
Yeah, episode 1.
Episode 1.
Welcome to the Drum Brigade show. Welcome. You are welcome to the Drum Brigade show. We got a fantastic show ahead of us tonight. It's late.
It is late. It's late here in San Diego.
We're here in Oceanside, California at Drum Brigade, but we got a good show. We got our catch-up, how our days have been going, how our gigs have been going this week. We got a great interview this week.
The best drummer in San Diego.
I don't know about that, but we got a good interview this week. It's with me. We got an interview with me. You got to find out all about me, myself, and I.
It's going to be great.
Yeah. Question of the day. Drum Brigade question of the day. We got a good one, too. You came up with a question of the day this week. I think it's a good one. I came up with one, but it's not as good as yours.
I think, I don't know. Yours is good. I think it applies to a lot of people.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Of course, we got Corey Soapbox.
Yes.
It's a good one this week. It's a doozy.
Corey lets some things out.
To say the least, yeah. We got drum games. This week is Name That Groove. Mm-hmm. Phil's got a good groove for you to name. We got a prize for that groove, too. We'll talk about that later. And we got some product reviews. This week, we're going to review Trap drums.
I think it's Traps. I think there's an S.
Sorry.
I think there's an S at the end of it.
We're going to review Traps drums.
Starts with a T. Yeah.
I thought it started with a C. Sorry. Anyways, I'm sure they're great. Let's get into it. How was your gigs this week?
They were good. I mean, not glamorous, but yeah, played a casino.
That's cool. I didn't have a super glamorous. I guess I kind of did. I played in Catalina this weekend.
Yeah?
It was good. It was like a summer concert series. And it was cool, but I don't really like going to Catalina very much. I know that sounds crazy.
I've never been to Catalina.
It's cool, but it's
it's an island.
It's very cool. I should stop being so negative.
It's an island, right?
Yeah, it's an island.
It's off the coast of Southern California.
It is off the coast of Southern California.
Sounds pretty good.
It only takes an hour to get there. It's nice and sunny. I got super sunburnt, but it was things that kind of didn't we had a 2.5 hour sound check that sucked. My ears, I was wearing in-ears, and my in-ears sounded terrible.
I hate that.
But the gig was really good. Was really good. There was a bunch of little kids in the front, and they were fully just loving the girls, dancing, and they were copying their moves and stuff. I love to see that. It's really cool.
That's great.
Yeah, and so I think that was my only gig this weekend.
Sounds like a good one, dude.
It was good. It was good.
Wait, so why did you hate the 2-hour sound check? Was it because it was too long?
It was outdoor gig.
That's a long check.
Yeah, it was an outdoor gig, and so I was just in the sun behind the drums, and it was me. They couldn't figure out. They couldn't put any sound in my ears, so I had no guitar. I had nothing. I just had keys blowing my ears off. So I was just over that. I was just get it together. Give me some sound so we could play and get off the stage. It's so hot. And there's a lot that goes with that gig. Like, you have to sign a contract that you can't drink for like 5 hours or so before the gig. And
that sucks.
So
5 hours before the gig?
Like, you can drink like on the boat and stuff, but then once you sign the contract at lunch, you can't drink until after the gig. So that's cool. Like, I don't have to drink, but you know, you're on an island and it's sunny out, and sometimes you want a cold beer, you know, and like, and so like, I can control my liquor. Like, just get off me, bro. Like, you don't know me, no. Just give me, just like, I just want a beer, you know, like, but yeah, you can't. I can't hit the button for Corey.
Isn't that why they do so much research on what band they're going to hire for these fancy events?
Like, yeah, but it's because
band has a reputation for being professional,
right? But the problem is some bands have ruined that reputation, so now we have to sign a contract that we won't drink.
That sucks.
So that's it. But all in all, the gig was really good. It was like just a 2-hour set. Got paid pretty okay to play our set, and you know, the crowd was really good, and it ended up being a fun night.
That's awesome.
But Catalina is there's always shenanigans with Catalina. Like, we go out to a club. It's called the Chi Club. It's like the only club in Catalina, and it's eventful. It's eventful. So yeah, there's that. And like, it's not impossible, but like, I'm a vegetarian. Are you still a vegetarian?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That's what's up, bro.
Sorry, meat eaters.
Yeah, it's okay. You can eat meat. I just don't.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, I have to find veggie food all the time, and like, you know, it's just it's cool. It's just like the typical like kind of gig situation that we're always in. So anyways, you played. Where did you play? The zoo? You played the zoo today?
I played the zoo today. I love that. I love playing at the zoo. It's really fun.
Yes.
They let peacocks walk all over the place.
When have you ever said that about any other gig? Like, I was playing this gig and there's like a peacock walking around.
Literally, dude. They do whatever they want there. Our whole last set, there was a peacock on the roof. It's like outdoor, and we have like sunshade, but there's like a roof on a building right next to us, and there's a peacock just sitting there staring at us.
Unbelievable.
Like,
was his tail all like?
He did blow it out. Yeah, during one of the songs, he just like full display, all the feathers spinning around, strutting his stuff on the rooftop.
That's like
and just
really
like hanging out, watching us. It's just like, I love it. It's one of those. Yeah, I really like playing that one. It's pretty nice. It's outside. It's easy.
The zoo is awesome, man.
We only play, they're like 30-minute sets. It's all in-ears, though. And that, I had the same, like, my in-ears were, and it's even one of those, like, personal mix things, where you get to, like, if you haven't seen them, it's where it's all digital, and you get your own controller with, like, every single mic is controlled on this personal mixer. So you have just your kick mic and your snare and your toms, and then bass and all the instruments that are going direct or mic'd up. You get to choose their volume and even their panning and stuff. But it's still, today it was sounding all messed up, like my kick was all blown out sounding, and no matter what I did, it might have just been the kick, which we'll get into later. Oh God. But the in-ear, like, it makes in-ears are such a commitment.
Man, I'm new to the in-ear game. Like, I made the jump, like, to kind of, I can't say that I exclusively use in-ears, but I try to use in-ears on most of my gigs.
Yeah?
I try, but man, when the sound man is just like not feeling you using in-ears, it's just like not fun, man. Yeah. Like, and I did one too where recently I did one where my band was like the opening band for another band, and so it was at the Troubadour, and they mic'd up all my drums, but they didn't give me overheads, and so I didn't realize how much you cannot hear if you don't have everything mic'd up. So like, I was playing and I was like beating the crap out of my stinking cymbals. And then when we were done, I was like, yo, like, I talked to my bass player. I'm like, Dan, can you hear the cymbals at all? He's like, dude, that's all I hear. And I'm like, I'm like, oh, like I go, I can't hear them at all, man. Like I can't hear. Like, and so they gave me an overhead just for my monitor mix. Like, but man, yeah, it's a commitment. Like,
it's a huge commitment, and you're really at the mercy of the sound. Like if they can blow your ears right out.
Yeah,
I've got like my own personal mixer, just in case I need to use in-ears, so I can control my own the volume going into my head at least.
I have that same thing.
Overall, yeah.
I have like a mixer where I can turn it up or down, but I rely on them to mix the band.
I'm reluctant to use them in general. Like, I use them for certain gigs where you need to, but
right.
And like if you have a good long sound check where you can really dial it in, but some of them I'm just like, I just don't trust it. I don't trust it.
I like them, but I love in-ears. When you get a good mix, like I'm playing at Paula on Paula Casino on Wednesday, but we're playing in like the live room in the
outside?
Not outside. It's like, where's that room? It's like
the big
not
one.
the main stage, but like the one that they have live drums and everything. And
that's cool.
I've used in-ears there before, and it was like as good as you could possibly get. Like felt like everything was mixed perfect. Everything had like reverb on it, and it just sounded like I was playing an arena. You know, it just felt great, and I was just like, if this is what in-ears is like, then I'm all in. And then like the next week, I was just like, dude, in-ears suck. I just want to go back to like having a monitor. But I'm trying to like save my hearing in my old age, and like
I'm having the same thing. I'm trying to. I want to use my in-ears more for that same reason. Yeah. So I usually wear earplugs, but then I feel like I just play twice as hard.
Same. So yeah, I'm really trying to work out the in-ear thing. I think what I might have to do is use a mixer, and that way I can add like stuff. Instead of just like, I have like a little Behringer, which we should probably like review sometime, but
I think I have the same one.
Really? It's just one plug in and one not?
Mine has 2 plugins.
Okay, so yeah, mine's just, you basically just take the monitor input and plug it into this thing, and then you plug your in-ears into that, and it's like, it's pretty good. It does its job. It's cool. Yeah. It is what it is. So, that brings a, look at your camera. Look at your, Tripping. There you go. While Phil is fixing his mic. There you go.
How's that?
Yeah, it's solid. Wait, is it drooping? There you go. There you go.
Hope you had fun staring at my sweet shirt.
If you want to get one, it's at www.rumbrigade.com. So that brings me to our next subject. Have you gotten any new gear lately? I feel like that's a vicious cycle. We always need to get new gear. I'm always spending too much money.
It's one of those things where you feel like you're buying toys, but it's really tools for your business.
It's stuff that you need.
It's stuff you need, but it's hard to draw a line when you've got enough stuff that you need. I know. I always feel like I need just one more thing to make everything even better.
Yeah. That's why I stay away from like drum flip. No, I can't say that. I go to drum flip all the time.
Yeah.
I try to stay away from Guitar Center, but
every time I go into the drum flip is like,
it's
every time I go there I'm like I've got to buy that.
Do I need a Love custom drum set? I think I do need a Love custom drum set.
Those are sweet.
Do I need like a Spawn snare? I don't know. Maybe I do.
It's got a walnut one in right now. You see that?
Dude, do I need a Panic at the Disco like actual drum set? I think I might. I'm like, babe, it's just tools, like to my wife. I really need this drum set.
Yeah. Well, to answer your question, I got some Tom holders, like the hooks.
Tom holders
for holding up your toms.
Yes, sir.
For a new drum set made by the Vessel.
Oh, drums. Snaps! Phil's getting a new drum set in 2 days.
Wednesday. Yeah.
No, wait. It is You getting your drum set in one day because it's Tuesday officially.
I'll get it Wednesday morning, technically.
Bruh.
And
you are so stoked.
I'm so stoked. They're all custom, completely custom to what I want.
Love new drums.
They're gonna be perfect, and they're gonna have a damn 20-inch bass drum. I don't care.
Don't judge
what
you.
any of you say about 20-inch bass drums versus 22s.
But don't you
like
think?
20s.
But don't you think? But don't you think you might want a 22?
We'll see.
I don't
More
think
often than not, I like 20s.
Good,
I like 20s. They sound good.
It
always has a damn microphone in it. What does it matter?
This is the thing.
The 22 can tune slightly lower.
Yeah, but this is your custom drum set.
Mine.
Yours.
Mine.
You went to what's his name?
Preston
at Vessel.
Who looks
and you
like
were
a Viking, by the way.
Yes. You're like, this is my dream set. This is the sizes. This is the wood. This is the finish. This is what I want. And you wanted a 20-inch bass drum.
Yeah.
And you're going to get one.
I'm going to get one. And if I have to get a 22 down the road,
then you get one.
I can. Yeah. Because it's a tool for my job, right?
Exactly. So, like, dude, I'm with you, dude. You want a 20, you get a 20. You know?
Yeah, I figured get the thing I know I love.
Yeah.
And then
get the thing you need later.
I don't need it.
You're right. Sorry. Should I hit the Phil soapbox button?
If I need a 22 later, I can always get one.
Yes. If. Yeah.
Which is a possibility, but
I was with you on the 20 for years, and I actually ordered a 20 from like another company years ago. And it was cool, but I feel like I needed a 22.
Yeah.
But that's because I can order my own custom drum set.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah. And you got your own custom drum set. You're going to get it
if you can't tell, Corey's like 3 feet taller than me, by the way.
Yeah, so that's why I like a 20. I don't want a 24. I don't like 24.
24s are stupid.
Now, if I was playing a rock gig, which I actually, probably my next kit will have a 24.
Really?
I know. I know. Maybe it'll be a 22. I don't know. If you like 24s, I mean, that's cool. If you play a 28, don't even talk to me. Don't even talk to me.
What about a 30? I thought it was 30.
Get out of my face. One time in Canada, I played, I think it was a 28 by 20.
What?
No, maybe it's a 28 by 22.
What?
The stupidest drum set ever. It was like acrylic, 28 by 22, and then a 10-inch rack and a 16-inch floor. It was the dumbest sizes ever, but you know what? That guy wanted a custom drum set, and he got it.
He got his 28 by 22.
You can't judge him. You can't judge him.
No, it's cool. I get it.
Yep. I just got one of those big fat snare drums things.
Those it's like basically a drum head without the hoop.
Yeah. I got the full one. I was like, well, I can make this. Like, I don't really want to buy this like for $20 or whatever, $25. But then at a drum flip, he had it for $5. I couldn't pass it up.
$5.
So I bought a used one for $5, and I'm so stoked I did because it's good. It works fine. It's like, it wasn't that used. It was just on one of his snares, and it's different than I thought it was. It's like way different than I thought it was. Like, it substantially lowers the volume of your snare.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't know it would do that.
Yeah.
I didn't know really what to expect. I never cut ahead and put it on my drum, on my snare drum. But I have a 14-inch snare drum floor tom. And I put it on there.
Which is awesome.
It sounds so good, but it's so quiet. It's so quiet. Like, so I guess if your drums are all mic'd up, you don't have that problem, but
yeah.
I was like, whoa, really? Like, this really reduces the volume. But it makes it sound amazing. I totally like that product. It's cool.
Yeah, I just made my own.
That's cool. I did a rehearsal today where they made their own.
It kind of looks shabby, I guess, though.
Yeah, but it's the same thing. It's like, who's looking at your heads?
Just me, pretty much, unless they have, like, cameras all over your drums.
Yeah, but now, like, if you're not using a big fat snare drum, you're not, like, hip. You're not like a hip. It's like a hipster product, dude.
Yeah. it's one of those weird, like, I've been cutting hoops off of drum heads before they even had those.
No, I know, but it's like the big fat snare drum is like, it's
pretty hip.
It's like, what's the bass drum?
It's like a recording trick.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's been doing that for a long time, but like, it's like the new thing. Like, if you don't have one of those, then you're not like that cool.
Yeah. Do you ever put a towel on your snare?
Oh yeah, that's a like reggae thing. I've been doing that for years and years.
I always thought it was a Ringo thing.
I didn't know he did it. I always did it. I always did it for reggae stuff.
Really?
Yeah, like always.
See, I didn't know they did that for reggae stuff.
Yeah, we put like there's this dude, this engineer, scientist is like he's scientist the dub. If you've heard of scientist, you know who he is. But anyways, I did a gig like we were opening for Lee Perry, and their drummer was playing my drums.
Wow.
He's like, what kind of drums do you have? And I told him, he's like, what size is the bass drum? I'm like, it's 24. And he's like, we'll use your drums. And like, I had like a Iron Cobra pedal. And then he's like, do you have a wood bass drum beater? And I'm like, no. And he went to Guitar Center, bought like a DW plastic one. And then he just completely tuned up my drums like crazy. Put it like a towel on my snare. He put a quarter. He took literally a quarter,
like 25 cents,
25 cents, and taped it to my kick drum, and then flipped the beater around so the kick drum sounded like clicky, like it. But like, dude, I went out front and it sounded like so legit,
really?
Like so good.
Wow,
it was so crazy. So I've used all those tricks, like all the stuff he did to my toms, like just taping them up, and I've used all those tricks on reggae sessions, and it's like.
It's awesome.
It's like, yeah, it sounds amazing. A quarter. Taped it to where the beater touches the drum.
What kind of bass drum head you have on there?
Aquarian Super Kick 2.
Yeah, that's pretty robust.
And
I just imagine the quarter like
sounded terrible from behind the drums.
Cutting through the head.
Yeah. It cut through the tape, and then my kick drum beater was like sticking. And then it would like fall back. But it was like, it sounded so good out front. It was ridiculous.
It's interesting. Yeah, it's hard because like usually you tune the drums and make them sound good from behind the kit. And then you don't have anyone you trust.
Right.
That can play them while you go stand in the audience, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's the hard part. Like, hey man, play my drums so I can go hear them out front. And they're like all quiet. You're like, no, like hit him.
Hit him.
Well, I am hitting him.
But let the stick bounce off.
Yeah. Play like a dope like buzz roll. Like they're like, what's that?
What's that?
No, man, you got to hit him. I do that all the time. Corey's interview. I grew up in Lake Elsinore, California.
Ah.
Yes. It's like a suburb of Riverside.
That's up there.
Yeah, like Marietta, Temecula area. But I grew up out there when there was like nothing out there. So
it's kind of between San Diego and LA.
Yeah, it's in between, but it's inland, so it's not on the beach. It's like inland more.
It's really hot.
The 909. So yeah, I
grew up.
Yeah, it's very hot. Kind of an unlikely place to be a drummer, but yeah. I grew up like doing stuff like skateboarding, riding bikes, BMX bikes, dirt bikes. I grew up like totally like a white kid, dude. Like I did not grow up in gangs. Like I didn't grow up in the city. Like I grew up like just doing outdoor stuff and playing drums.
Listening to punk rock.
Listening to punk. Like, I got super into ska music and punk music and reggae music. And, like, I got into, like, hip-hop and stuff, too. But, I don't know. It was, like, I was, like, way into punk and way into, like, hip-hop and way into ska. But, like, in, like, more of a roundabout, like, skater kind of way. Not, like... a roundabout like inner city kid that's like into breakdancing kind of way. So yeah.
When did you start playing drums?
I started a long time ago when I was 3 years old.
3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My parents have videos of me playing like Don't Stand Still.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
And
playing
like,
some Police?
Playing some Police, playing
Get
some
out.
Lionel Richie.
When you're 3?
3 years old, yeah. My dad's a singer, yeah. So that's really how I got my start. But my mom was pregnant. She thought I was stillborn. They thought I was not alive in her stomach. And they went to a club to listen to some disco music. They walked by the speaker, and my mom said the beat, the doosh, 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 like just like a club now, but you know, whatever. My mom said her stomach looked like alien, like
what?
Like moving. Like she said, you were totally moving, like you were playing the drums.
So you actually love disco?
I guess so. Maybe I do. I don't know. But she's like, we knew you were gonna be into music, like even before you were born. Playing drums wasn't really something that I like learned how to do, or I like came out going like, okay, so I need to start playing drums. It was just something that was always a part of me, like something I've always done. Even when I didn't really know I knew how to play drums, it was just like I was always like, I would go see my dad's band. My dad's a singer, and I'd be fixated on his drummer. You know, like I didn't even know my dad was in the band. I was just looking at his drummer the whole time. Finally, one day, my mom just lowered the drums for me because I was like dying. I was like telling her every day I want to go in there and play. And I was like, please, like lower the drums. And like, so finally she did. And my dad's drummer had his drums at the house. And so they lowered the drums, and like, I just started playing. Like, I don't remember like going, how do I do this? It was just like, let's just play. And I didn't take lessons or anything when I was a kid. I just put records on. There's a record player right behind the drum set, and I'd put a record on and figure out. I think I saw my dad's drummer do like side sticking like this, and then I figured out how to do that like on the Police songs, and then I'd play it, and I had his giant like probably 5 Bs in my hands, and like I just figured it out. Like I don't really know. Like I just played, you know, and I didn't really get serious about it until I was like 10. Like my dad, the band broke up or whatever, the guy took his drums back, and I didn't really like have anything to play, so I just forgot about it and started riding bikes and skateboarding and stuff like that. But there was something missing, you know. There was like a feeling that wasn't coming out that I needed out. Mm-hmm. And I was using anything I can, like pots and pans, chopsticks, like pillows, like anything I can just use to play, you know. And then finally I was like, Dad, I want to get a drum set. And so he didn't buy me one. He just basically said, like, if you want a drum set, you have to try to figure out a way to get one. And so I sold my bike. The only thing I love, you know, more than drums, or as much as drums, is biking, cycling. I sold my bike to get a drum set, and I bought what I thought was a Pearl, but it was a CB 700.
What?
And they put a Pearl bass drum on it.
That was my first drum set,
really?
too.
Dude, that was a horrible drum set.
How much did you pay for it?
I think I paid $350, $400.
Yeah, I paid $400 for mine.
Yeah, it was at a garage sale.
I had the same deal. I saved up money forever.
Yeah?
I bought it. It was...
See, that's how you know. That makes you appreciate it, dude. Yeah.
CB 700.
CB 700.
The best beginner kit.
I didn't even know, dude. They put a Pearl bass drum head on it.
No,
and
really?
So they're like, it's a Pearl drum set. And so I'm like, sweet. I bought it.
That's so messed up.
And then I was looking through like a catalog, and I'm like, wait a minute. Like, this is my same drum set. And I'm like, CB 700, those drum sets are terrible. Like, what is this, you know? And like,
did it have like speckled paint inside?
No. Oh, I think it did.
Mine did.
Yeah, I think it did. It was like, I remember,
silver wrap and had speckled paint inside.
Mine was a white wrap, and it had a black resonant heads, and I thought that was so cool. I was like, whoa,
cool, so dark.
Yeah, so and then I had like the cheap CB flimsy cymbals, and I didn't have cymbal stands, so I'd take my dad's mic stands, and I would set the cymbal on top of the mic stand, and then I'd get a wire hanger and shove it in the mic stand hole, and then like fold the wires over so it would hold the cymbals tilted.
Oh man!
And I ruined all my dad's mic stands.
That's a drummer.
And that way I can have cymbals, you know. And then and then I was in the garage, dude. I was in the garage every day playing to records. Like I would have to finish my homework, and then I couldn't play until after. I had to stop playing at 8:00. And so I would be in there as soon as I finished my homework. I'd be in there until 7:59, like playing every single day. My dad's friends like kind of helped me to get like they loaned me. I remember like my dad's buddy loaned me a Rogers kit that was like it was a vintage Rogers kit, and it was just like amazing. I loved it, and he gave me like real proper cymbals. I remember like I had real hi-hats. They were like Zildjian, like Avitas or something cymbals, and they were just like, these don't bend inside out when I push too hard on the hi-hat stand. Like, this is amazing. They were just like, they sounded good, and like, you know, it was like I had more than just like a crash and a ride. There was like a couple crashes and like a China, and like he gave me like, he just let me borrow as much stuff as I wanted, and like it totally helped me to get to the next level. Yeah, and then the rest is history. Like I started like playing professionally when I was 14 and 15. I got like a country gig. I hated it, but it was cool. It was like super disciplined and like traditional country, and it was a lot of fun. And then like after that, it was just like I just started playing in whatever bands, like punk bands, and worked my way up to like playing with like this band called the Rhythm Doctors that was like touring a little bit, and then that morphed into Agrolites, and toured my butt off for like 10 years with Agrolites, like all over the place, all over the world, all over the US, all over Canada, all over Mexico, all over Europe, like just touring like crazy. And got to do some really cool stuff with them, like Warped Tour, and did my first ever like out of the country dates, you know, with them, and like really paid my dues with that gig, like for sure. Awesome. And then that just like morphed into all kinds of other stuff, you know, that morphed into like Suede Head and now Sharp Shock, and that led to Hepcat and like all kinds of stuff. So pretty cool.
Influences.
I have a lot of influences like that are drummers and bands, and then like outside influences too, with like style and stuff like that. So I love Dennis Chambers, I love Vinnie Colaiuta, Dave Weckl, and I always say my favorite drummer in the whole world is Chris Dave, and like I know a lot of guys say that. I love Chris Dave's style because he has style on and off the drums, and he really like, I feel like he really has a lot to say through his drumming. Marcus Thomas. I like Bill Stewart, Tony Williams, of like, you know, of course, Buddy Rich. I really like Virgil Donati, Gergo Borlai. So yeah, I like too many drummers. Tim Fig Newton. I mean, everybody likes Fig. Fig is like a San Diego guy that we all love out here.
He's ridiculous.
And then like outside influences, believe it or not, like I'm such a huge fan of like the Bones Brigade, like the skateboarding team in the 80s. I feel like everything, those dudes influenced like the skateboarding industry and like the skateboarders and everything, like so much back then, that like they really made you feel like you could identify as a skater, like at a time where like skaters were like dorks that were like competing in like Olympic style things. They were like, these misfits came out and were like, we're just gonna show you that like what we do is cool. And it was like so different, and it was so like out there, and it was so unique. And then their style was like, you have these guys in like short shorts and long socks like up to their knees, and then these guys came out like wearing like Stussy and Vision Streetwear and like all these like companies that like people like, they were new companies then, you know, and like they made it like their identity. And like I just love that. I love that. When I was a little kid, I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. And so that's what I like. My thoughts were going into Drum Brigade. That's why I call my company Drum Brigade, you know, because I want it to be influential to like kids and drummers, to help them identify as being a drummer. Like the Bones Brigade helped you identify as a skater.
Yeah. What are you practicing right now?
I'm practicing working on becoming way better at reading and writing. Like, I feel like that's always a thing that I'm practicing, always. Like, but I really am tired of being like, man, I mean, I'm okay at reading, but I could be better. But I'm, you know, it's like, dude, it's time to just be like a legit dude, you know, like as far as that goes. So especially for teaching, like I use it every day when I'm like teaching. I'm writing something every single day. So it's time to stop. Like, I want to be a good sight reader. Like, throw a chart in front of me for the first time and like lay it down.
Yeah.
It's like,
that's some hard stuff.
It's hard stuff, man. I have to, like, right now, like, I can definitely read and I can definitely write, but I have to, like, study. I'm way more comfortable if I can study the chart and then take it to, like, my session or take it to the gig and play it. I tell my students all the time, like, you never finish practicing doubles, and I literally don't. I always practice doubles all the time, every day, you know? Like, I'll shed with, like, dudes like Fig or something where I'm just like, I've never even thought of a lick like that. And then I'm, like, always trying to practice that, like, some lick, like, some weird triplet fill or something. Like, that's the thing with Fig's fills is, like, a lot of them are doable. He just does them so clean and so fast and so precise. And, like, also my brain doesn't really work like that where I'm like, wait, that's what you did? Like, I didn't really think to, like, do that. Like, it's cool.
What are your thoughts on the music industry?
It sucks. Next question. No. Music industry. It doesn't always suck. It doesn't always suck. It depends on what you mean with the music industry, though. Like, if you mean, like, me being a professional musician or you being a professional musician and how we can make a living at this, then I have a lot of good stuff to say about it.
Let's go with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, me as a professional musician, it's definitely not what I thought it was going to be. Like, when I was in high school, I thought you have to get a good gig, like a big gig, and then you work your way up to playing arenas and being a successful drummer like my teacher was, you know? But it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. Like, I've done some of those gigs. Like, I've done some bigger high-end gigs or good, like, big tours. And then when I come home, it's like, okay, cool. Now I have to play a bar gig, you know? Like, I've literally come home from, like, playing, like, Wembley Arena and then came home to, like, playing, like O'Sullivan's bar, like, in Carlsbad, you know? But it's all part of it. So basically my take on the music industry as far as my career is I had to find satisfaction and, like, comfort and contentment with knowing that I'm successful by having my drumsticks in my hands every day, or more than the normal person. So if I can have my drumsticks in my hands instead of, like, doing carpet like I used to do, or I can have my drumsticks in my hands instead of, like, working at a restaurant or something, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I just feel like I put a lot of work into maintaining and making a living as a drummer. If I can do that any way, shape, or form, then I'm okay with it. And that makes me happy. And so if I'm on a tour this week and then I come home and I'm on a bar gig the next day and then I'm teaching the next day and then I'm on a corporate gig and I'm on a wedding on the weekend or whatever, it's like every day that I get to play my drums is successful for me. Basically what happened was I was doing construction and I was still playing gigs and going on tour, but then I would come home and go back to my construction gig. And I finally decided, like, you know what? Enough is enough. If I work as hard as I am at this construction gig toward what I'm really, like, good at and what I really want to do, then I'm going to do that. And so that's what I did. And, like, you just have to hustle at it and just make it happen.
What do you think makes a good drummer?
In my opinion, there's a couple things. Feel, time, and professionalism are, like, the three biggest things for me. And style, but that's like half of a one. Style is like a half of one. I feel like the formula is, like, if you're professional, you show up on time, you get along with others, you're not that guy, you know, and you're somebody that people can go on tour with. That's a big plus. People want to play with you, like, because you're a professional. That's a good thing. If you don't have time, dude, just stop. Go practice and then get good time and then come back. If you can't play in time, dude, you're not a professional drummer. I don't care who you are. If you have bad time, beat it.
Shut down.
Yeah. If you don't have a good feel, like, I feel like, man, that's a big part of it. And I took that for granted for a long time. Like, I wasn't really aware that, like, you have to make these songs feel right. You have to make, if you're playing in a cover band or you're playing in a original band, if you don't, you have to have great feel, man. Like, it has to feel right. It has to feel comfortable, and so you got great feel, you can make a song. I have students that I'm like, man, that kid has such an amazing feel. Like, he just has like a thing about him that sounds and feels great to me.
Like music's going through their bones.
Right. Yeah. And it just comes out where I'm like, man, you got it. That's like it's not something that you can learn. I think you can learn feel, but I think it's like, it's a big part of like what makes a good drummer to me. Like when somebody can just play somebody like I always use this as an example. Jonathan Moffat, like if you've seen This Is It, like he plays Billie Jean with Michael Jackson dancing in front of him, and it's just Jonathan Moffat and Michael dancing. And I'm like, I've never heard the basic rock beat feel so good, dude. It feels so good that Michael freaking Jackson is like dancing in front of him. Like, it's crazy. That's crazy. So like, that's what I mean. Like, even something as simple as the basic rock beat can feel so good when it's done right. Style for me is a big thing. Like, dude, when you're just
aesthetic style.
Yes, and I mean that should go on and off the drums. You should have style. Like, you should be presentable. I always say, like, what is your product? Like, make yourself like not marketable, but make it appealing to a band.
What was your favorite, or is your favorite drum set you've owned?
Dude, come on, bro.
Your Masters.
It's my favorite drum set I've ever owned.
Those are sick.
My Masters and Maple drums, I just got them like maybe 6 months ago. Those are the best drums I've ever played, ever.
They're all current projects. What bands are you playing with right now? What do you like that you're doing?
Sharp Shock. I have a ska big band orchestra. It's called Western Standard Time. And then locally, I play with like a Vegas style band called Siren's Crush. And I have like an agency gig that's like, it's called the International Musicians League. The band is called the Lucky Devils Band. And that gives me a lot of work, corporate work, and weddings and stuff. Yeah.
Consistent work, right?
It's pretty good. Yeah. That's a lot of like when I'm not on tour and like when I'm not like doing other stuff, that's like the most consistent work I get. Just gig after gig after gig, and it's no hassle. It's just show up and play, and that's pretty much it. It's awesome. And then like I tour a little bit here and there with Hepcat, and then whatever else, like I sub a lot of gigs and like do some recording stuff with whoever, and I do Drum Brigade, like teaching and videos and vlogging and all kinds of stuff with that, and so it keeps me pretty busy.
Okay, right. 3 things that we might not know about you.
Oh boy. 1, I'm super ridiculously scared of June bugs, dude.
June bugs? Wait, which ones are those?
Those are like, I call them June bugs. They might be Japanese
tan?
beetles.
They're like tan ones?
No. They're like the big, like not translucent, but they change colors, like green, purple.
Oh, the green
blue.
Ones?
And
Big
they
ones.
like land on figs, and they're like bzzz all around, and they're blind. They'll hit you. 2, about 12 years ago, I shattered my kick drum foot, like my heel and my ankle and my tib and fib, and I broke my ankle so bad, dude. I was on crutches for 5 months, and it doesn't bother me so much anymore, but like it does. It hurts every day, but I can live with it, and I can still play drums, and so I'm really grateful for that. I don't know if I should say this other one, because it's kind of personal, but many people know but don't know that like I don't ever cuss.
I guess you don't, yeah. Huh?
Yeah, I don't ever cuss. Like, I don't use foul language, but like sometimes I let her cuss like a mother effer.
Like a mother effer.
Yeah, that's it. Those are 3 things that you don't know about me.
There it is.
Drum Brigade question of the day.
Question of the day.
Why is the pata fla fla called a pata fla fla when I've always seen it written fla pata fla? Why is that?
It doesn't make any sense.
I always thought it was...
starts with a flam, right?
Flam, pata, flam. Or no, flam... No, what is it now?
Flam, single, flam, right?
See, now I'm getting confused. So wait, I would always play it. Oops, I just kicked the camera. Okay, I would always play it. Pata, fla, pata, fla, pata, fla, pata. But that's not it. It's fla, pata, fla, pata, fla, pata, fla, pata.
Yeah, it starts with a flam, 2 singles, then ends with a flam. Right, it's just 4 beats.
But then it should be called a fla, pata, fla.
It should. You would think.
Could they just write it correctly and call it what it is? It's not called a diddle paradiddle.
Yeah, unless you're doing
an inverted paradiddle. But that's called an inverted paradiddle. So this should be called an inverted pata fla fla.
Yeah, or just a fla pata fla.
Fla pata fla pata fla pata fla. I don't like that.
It doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. Maybe that's why they called it that.
So I guess the end result is there's no rhyme or reason to why they call it a pata fla.
I even looked on the internet
and it's just
today and I couldn't find anything.
It's just everybody's accepted it.
Granted,
we need to stop accepting it.
I only looked through one Google page of results.
That's all you need, because it would have been changed already, but in every book it's written fla pata fla.
Yeah.
But it's
played notated as that. You mean?
It's notated as that. But then it's called pata fla fla.
Yeah.
That is so dumb.
It's dumb.
That is so dumb. We just have to accept it. We just have to accept that it's
some rudiments just have stupid names.
Yes, that's what it is. Corey Soapbox!
Corey Soapbox!
Bruh.
Corey Soapbox! Corey Soapbox! Corey Soapbox! Corey Soapbox!
I ain't trying to hear that right now. Okay, we go to this gig. This dude pretty much meets with us before we go to the gig.
There you go.
No. All right, so anyways, that has been my soapbox. I ain't trying to hear that right now. Glad I got that off my chest.
Yeah. That was pretty. It seemed like it was nagging you all week.
Yeah. Yeah. To say the least. To say the least. Drum games!
Drum games!
All right, this week's drum game is Name That Groove. You got a good groove.
Yes. It's a historic groove.
That was an excellent groove you laid down for these people.
Hey, thanks, man.
Yeah, solid, super solid. I know what that groove was.
Yeah?
Yeah. So if I send an email to thedrumbrigade@gmail.com, do you think I can win these amazing drumsticks?
You can't. But you get all the ones you want already.
I guess. You could win these, though, if you send an email to thedrumbrigade.com and name that groove that Phil was playing. You got your choice of 5B, 5A, or 7A drumsticks for free. Pretty cool. Awesome. First-rate hickory, amazing, dope colors, amazing packaging, amazing, amazing, amazing. You can have them for free. I'm giving them to you. It's like you're endorsed.
Yeah.
For free.
Really good sticks.
All you got to do is name that groove. First one who gets it gets a free pair of Drum Brigade sticks. Yeah. Product reviews. Oh boy. All right, we're reviewing Traps drums. Traps drums. Mm-hmm. Those drums are $700. Yeah. Oh, though that's way too much. Okay, so you played these drums today at the zoo. Mm-hmm. You probably sounded dope on them. I'm sure you did.
I hope.
Those drums suck, bro. Those drums suck. Do we need to get into another Corey soapbox?
Don't
Okay.
If you don't know about them, they're just like, they're basically a hoop and with a head stretched over it. That's it. They're like no drum shell.
Yeah.
And they're fastened. It's like a snare drum that's like that thin, and they're tiny. And then they come with 2 rack toms and a floor tom, all like just a hoop, basically that has like a mount.
So the whole point of like having wood drums that resonate and they make noise and they like vibrate and they have this amazing tone, it's like take that all away and just have a head like with the rim, and that's your drum. There's no wood to resonate off of. It's just a flat drum. They are good for like having really compact drums. Like they all probably just fit inside each other and stack up about that high.
They fold up really flat. They actually, I think they come with a bag.
Yeah.
Where you can take all of the drum, even the kick drum, and fit them in like a cymbal bag.
Yeah. So that is cool. Like if you're playing a little tiny room or the zoo, you can have the flattest drums you've ever sounded or you've ever heard of. Yeah. But not only are they flat in appearance, but they're flat in sound too. They just sound like nothing.
Yeah,
that's the negative part.
It's kind of like you don't buy those for the sound.
True.
They're pretty much what you would expect. It's like a rototom sound. They sound like rototoms, basically. Yes. They're like, no shell.
Yeah. So they're not that bad. It's just me. Like coming from me, the dude who has a segment on the show called Corey Soapbox. Like, I would complain so much about those drums.
I think they're overpriced, personally.
Okay, yes, $700.
A lot of drums.
Get out of here with that $700 business, bro. That's no.
Yeah.
They have another company out there that's called like Flats or something. I forget what those are.
Arbiter or something.
Arbiter Flats or something, and they're like basically the same thing. They're like the same exact thing. Except those you can't even tune. Like, well, you can tune, but it's just one lug that tunes it all, which could be good or could be bad.
Sounds convenient.
It sounds convenient. I mean, like, look, this company, Flats or Traps, looks like they're basing their whole marketing plan on convenience. So if you're looking at, well, maybe not convenience like with setup, but if you're looking up like compact, like you want one cymbal bag that you carry with your cymbals and your drums in one thing, and then a rack, and you can carry it in one trip, like one over your shoulder, one in your hand, then this is the drum set for you.
I mean, I'm pretty short. I can admit it. And I just can't get the cymbals where I would want them to be comfortably.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of too close.
Nah, I'd be bringing my cymbals.
High up.
I'd be bringing my cymbal stands.
So, yeah, it's just kind of an awkward setup. I mean,
I've played some electric drums like that, where I'm like, can't this thing just go down a little bit, and it's just too high and it's awkward and it's too close and it's all right. So that's Traps. I mean, I'm not gonna buy them. So hope you guys like our first show. It's been real, and there's gonna be a lot more shows, and I'm hoping you guys like them because we're having fun doing them, and I got a lot more soapbox things to get off my chest. Tune in next week for Phil's interview. Funky, filthy Phil Pardell. Drum Brigade podcast. Drum Brigade show. Drum Brigade. Drum Brigade. Drum Brigade. Drum Brigade. Drum Brigade.
And when I read your lips, your own is hard to find. It's always the same old